The Great Hall of Kepler Station buzzed with noise as hundreds of alien delegates talked at once. Admiral Zektar of the Vorthak Empire stood at the center podium, his forearms waving as he spoke to the crowd. His gray skin showed dark patches of anger as he read from the datapad in his lower left hand. "These reports are jokes," Zektar said, his voice booming through the speakers. "Pirate ships destroyed by ghosts. Entire fleets wiped out by invisible enemies. The survivors speak of human ships that appear from nowhere and vanish like smoke." Laughter filled the hall. The delegates from dozens of worlds found the idea amusing. Humans were new to galactic society. They had barely learned to travel between stars. Most species considered them weak and primitive. Commander Jake Sullivan sat in the back row of the observer section. His brown hair was cut short in military style, and his blue eyes watched the alien delegates with calm patience. He wore a simple gray uniform with no medals or rank markers visible. To most aliens, in the room he looked like just another minor human diplomat. Jake had been stationed on Kepler Station for 3 years. He spoke 7 alien languages and understood 12 more. The aliens thought he was there to learn from them. They had no idea he was there to watch them. "The human territories are small," continued Admiral Zektar. "Their technology is basic. Their ships are slow and weak. These pirate attacks happen in empty space, far from any human worlds. How could they be responsible?" More laughter echoed through the hall. Delegate Mortak from the Rillan Republic stood up. His insect-like body clicked as he moved. "Perhaps the pirates are destroying each other. Criminals often fight among themselves. Or maybe space monsters are eating them," joked Counselor Vexhai from the Crystal Worlds. Her crystalline form sparkled as she laughed at her own words. Jake Sullivan made no expression. He had heard these jokes before. The aliens always underestimated humans. They looked at Earth's small fleet of exploration ships and saw weakness. They saw humanity's peaceful trade agreements and assumed cowardice. They were wrong about both. 3 sectors away, Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of the UES Frontier. The ship was officially listed as an exploration vessel. It had science, labs, medical facilities, and comfortable quarters for long missions. What the official records did not mention were the hidden weapon systems, advanced engines, and military-grade sensors built into the hull. Lisa was 35 years old with red hair and green eyes. She had served in the Martian Colonial Defense Force before joining the Earth Space Service. Her crew thought she was chosen for this mission because of her exploration experience. The truth was different. She was chosen because she had killed enemy soldiers with her bare hands during the Martian Rebellion. "Captain," said Navigator Amy Carter from her station, "we're receiving a priority message from Fleet Command." Amy was 28 years old, with blonde hair and brown eyes. Neural interface ports behind her ears connected her directly to the ship's navigation computer. The aliens knew humans used basic computer interfaces. They did not know about the advanced neural links that allowed human pilots to think at computer speed. "Put it through to my ready room," Lisa said. She walked to the small office behind the bridge and closed the door. The message appeared on her personal screen in encrypted text. The orders were simple. Proceed to the Outer Rim territories. Investigate. Reports of pirate activity. Maintain cover as exploration mission. The final line made her smile. Authorization granted for full response if civilian lives are threatened. Lisa had been waiting 2 years for those words. Meanwhile, on the fortress world of Zerion Prime, General Krath paced around his command center like a caged animal. The alien warlord stood 3 meters tall with thick armor plates covering his body. His species, the Gorvani, had conquered 12 worlds through brute force and cruelty. "Show me the reports again," Krath demanded. His aide, a smaller Gorvani named Thekvor, activated the holographic display. Red dots appeared in empty space, each one marking where a pirate fleet had been destroyed. 17 separate incidents in the past 4 months, Thekvor reported. Over 200 ships destroyed. Only a few survivors each time. What do the survivors say? They all tell the same story. A large ship appears without warning. It destroys everything in minutes, then disappears. They describe weapons unlike anything in the galactic databases. Krath studied the display. The attacks formed a pattern around the human territories, but always in neutral space where no government claimed control. What do we know about human military capabilities? According to Galactic Council records, humans have 43 exploration ships and 12 cargo vessels. No official military fleet. Their biggest ship is 800 meters long. Then who is killing our people? Thekvor had no answer. General Krath had built his empire by understanding his enemies. Pirates were predictable. They wanted easy targets and quick profits. Government fleets followed rules and could be negotiated with or bribed, but this enemy was different. They killed efficiently and completely, leaving no demands or warnings. Double our patrols, Krath ordered. I want 5 ships minimum in every raiding group. If this ghost ship exists, we will find it. Back on Kepler Station, the Galactic Council session was ending. Admiral Zektar had dismissed the pirate reports as fantasy and moved on to trade discussions. Commander Jake Sullivan gathered his notes and prepared to leave. As he walked through the corridors toward the human embassy section, alien delegates ignored him completely. To them, he was invisible. Just another primitive human trying to understand. Galactic civilization. They spoke freely around him, discussing military capabilities, trade routes, and political secrets. They had no idea he remembered every word. Jake reached his small office and activated the secure communication array. The equipment looked like standard diplomatic gear, but hidden components could punch signals through subspace interference that would block most alien technology. Control, this is Observer 7, he said into the microphone. Daily report follows. For the next hour, Jake recorded everything he had learned. Fleet movements, political tensions, economic data, and most importantly, alien attitudes toward humanity. The information would be transmitted to Earth through a network of relay stations disguised as scientific satellites. The aliens thought they knew everything about human capabilities because humans had chosen to show them very little. Earth's first contact protocols had been simple. Appear weak, learn everything, and prepare for the day when pretending would no longer be enough. That day was coming soon. On the bridge of the UES frontier, Captain Lisa Morgan reviewed star charts with her senior officers. Engineer Danny Rodriguez pointed to a system near the edge of human space. New Haven Colony is located here, mining operation with about 10,000 people. Danny was 32 years old with black hair and dark eyes. His engineering degree was from MIT, but his real education came from reverse engineering alien technology captured during the Martian Rebellion. The Frontier's engines could outrun anything in the galactic fleet, but only Danny and 2 other people knew how. Intelligence reports suggest General Krath is moving a large force toward that region, added Dr. Ryan Walsh, the ship's science officer. Ryan was tall and thin with brown hair and blue eyes. His official job was studying alien plant samples and mineral deposits. His real job was analyzing alien technology and finding weaknesses. How large? Lisa asked. 60 to 80 ships, according to our sources. Lisa nodded. General Krath was finally making his move. The pirate lord had been testing defenses and gathering intelligence for months. Now he was ready to strike at human colonies directly. He expected easy targets and quick victories. He was about to learn how wrong he could be. Set course for New Haven, Lisa ordered. Maximum speed. The UES Frontier turned toward the outer rim and accelerated. To any alien sensors watching, it would appear to be moving at normal human cruising speed. In reality, the ship was traveling 3 times faster than its published specifications allowed. The war that nobody expected was about to begin. The UES Frontier dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the New Haven system. Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge, watching the tactical display with growing anger. 63 alien ships surrounded the small mining colony like wolves around a wounded animal. "Report," she ordered. "Colony is under siege," said Tactical Officer Kyle Green. He was 29 years old with short blonde hair and gray eyes. His fingers moved across his console as he analyzed the enemy formation. "They're jamming all communications and blocking evacuation routes." Kyle had been a weapons specialist during the Martian Rebellion. The aliens thought humans used simple kinetic weapons and basic energy shields. They had no idea what Kyle could do with the hidden systems built into every human military vessel. "Picking up a broadcast from the lead ship," reported communications specialist Rachel Stone. She was 26 years old with brown hair and green eyes. Her equipment could intercept and decode alien transmissions that other species considered impossible to break. "Put it through," General Krath's voice filled the bridge, translated by the ship's computer. "Humans of New Haven Colony, you have 1 hour to surrender completely. Load all valuable materials onto cargo ships. Prepare your people for relocation to work camps. Resistance will result in the destruction of your entire settlement." Lisa felt her jaw tighten. 10,000 civilians lived on New Haven, families with children, scientists and miners who had never hurt anyone. They had come to the Outer Rim looking for a better life, not to become slaves. "Captain," said Navigator Amy Carter from her station, "I'm detecting weapon locks from multiple ships. They're targeting the colony's power generators and life support systems." Amy's neural interface allowed her to process sensor data faster than any alien computer system. The flowing lights in her interface ports showed she was running complex calculations. To alien observers, the lights would look like simple status indicators. "Options?" Lisa asked. Engineer Danny Rodriguez looked up from his station. "We're outnumbered, 63 to 1. Standard doctrine would be to call for reinforcements and maintain distance." "I didn't ask for standard doctrine." Danny smiled. "In that case, we have some interesting possibilities. The pirates are using a standard blockade formation. They assume no single ship would be crazy enough to attack them directly. Are we crazy enough? Definitely." Dr. Ryan Walsh activated his science console. "I'm scanning their fleet composition, mixed species technology, poor coordination between different ship types. Their formation has 12 critical weak points." Ryan's real job was analyzing alien weaknesses and finding ways to exploit them. He had spent 3 years studying every type of ship in the galactic database. The pirates had no idea they were being dissected by someone who understood their technology better than they did. "Amy, can you plot an approach course through the asteroid field?" Lisa asked. "Already working on it." Amy's interface ports flashed brighter as she connected deeper with the ship's navigation computer. "I can get us within weapons range using gravitational shadows and electromagnetic interference. The asteroids will mask our approach until we're right on top of them." "How close?" "Close enough to count their crew members." Lisa nodded. "Kyle, prepare all weapon systems. Full authorization." "All systems, Captain." "Everything we have." Kyle's hands moved across his console with practiced speed. Hidden weapon ports opened across the Frontier's hull. Power flowed to systems that officially did not exist. The ship that appeared to be a simple exploration vessel revealed its true nature. "Weapons hot and ready," Kyle reported. "All stealth systems online. Danny, I need maximum engine power. You'll have it." Danny's fingers danced across his engineering. "Controls. Fair warning. Once we light up the main engines, every sensor in 3 systems will know we're not what we appear to be. Let them know. Take us in, Amy." The UES Frontier turned toward the asteroid field and accelerated. The ship's stealth systems bent light and absorbed sensor beams, making it nearly invisible to alien detection equipment. To the pirates watching New Haven, nothing had changed. 10 minutes later, the first pirate ship exploded. General Krath was reviewing invasion plans in his command center when his aide burst through the door. "Sir, we're under attack!" "Impossible. We have the system completely blocked. See for yourself." Krath rushed to the main display as another pirate ship vanished in a ball of fire. His sensors showed nothing. No attacking fleet, no missile launches, no energy signatures. Ships were simply dying for no apparent reason. "Where are the attacks coming from?" "We don't know, sir. Our sensors detect brief energy spikes just before each ship is destroyed, but we cannot locate the source." A third ship exploded, then a fourth. Krath watched his carefully planned formation fall apart as captains broke ranks and tried to find the invisible enemy. Some turned toward the asteroid field, others accelerated toward empty space. All of them were wrong. On the bridge of the Frontier, Captain Lisa watched the tactical display with satisfaction. The pirate formation was exactly where Ryan had predicted it would be. Kyle's weapon systems were performing perfectly. Amy's navigation kept them in the sensor shadows of the largest asteroids. "Target the command ship next," Lisa ordered. "Locked. On," Kyle replied. "Firing." The Frontier's main guns were disguised as sensor arrays and communication dishes. When they fired, the energy beams were invisible to most alien sensors. The only sign of attack was when the target ship exploded. "General." Krath's flagship shook as energy weapons tore through its shields. The bridge lights flickered and smoke filled the air. Emergency alarms wailed as damage reports flooded in. "Shields down to 30%, his weapons officer reported. "Hull breaches on decks 4 through 7, engine power dropping." "Return. Fire! All ships converge on our position and fire at everything." The remaining pirate ships turned toward Krath's flagship and opened fire with every weapon they had. Beams of energy and streams of projectiles filled space around the command vessel. Most of the shots hit nothing. Some hit other pirate ships. A few struck the asteroid field and blew chunks of rock into glittering clouds. The UES Frontier was already gone, moving to a new position Amy had calculated 30 seconds earlier. The ship appeared on the far side of the pirate fleet and destroyed 4 more vessels before vanishing again. "This is impossible," Krath roared. "How can one ship move so quickly?" His aide consulted the sensor reports. "The energy signatures don't match any known technology. The attacking ship appears to use some kind of space-folding drive that allows instantaneous movement." Krath had never heard of space-folding drives. Neither had most aliens in the galaxy. Humans had developed the technology by combining principles from 3 different alien races and adding innovations that no other species had considered. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," the communications officer reported. "It's coming from the attacking ship." "Put it through." Captain Lisa Morgan's voice filled the pirate command center. Her words were calm and professional, but carried an edge that made experienced warriors nervous. "General Krath, this is Captain Morgan of the United Earth Space Service. You have 30 seconds to order your ships away from New Haven Colony. Any vessel that does not immediately begin retreat will be destroyed." "United Earth Space Service?" Krath's aide whispered. "That organization doesn't exist in our databases." Krath activated his microphone. "Human Captain, you are outnumbered 50 to 1. Surrender now and I will allow your crew to live as slaves." 20 seconds. 3 more pirate ships exploded, then 2 more. The remaining captains began to panic. Some turned their ships toward the hyperspace jump point. Others tried to use the colony as a shield, moving between New Haven and where they thought the human ship might be. 10 seconds. Krath felt sweat running down his armored face. In 30 years of warfare, he had never encountered an enemy like this. His ships could not find the human vessel. His weapons could not hit it. His sensors could not track it. "Time's up." The slaughter began in earnest. The UES Frontier appeared in 6 different locations within 2 minutes, each time destroying multiple targets before vanishing. Kyle's weapons systems operated with surgical precision, targeting engines and weapon systems to disable ships rather than destroy them outright. "Captain," Amy reported, 23 enemy vessels are attempting to jump to hyperspace. Should I pursue?" Let them go. They'll carry word back to the rest of the galaxy. Within 15 minutes, the battle was over. 47 pirate ships had been destroyed or disabled. 16 others had fled into hyperspace, carrying terrified survivors who would never forget what they had witnessed. General Krath's flagship limped away with half its crew dead and most of its weapons gone. The proud pirate lord who had conquered. 12 worlds now knew what it felt like to be completely outmatched. On New Haven Colony, 10,000 civilians watched their rescuers through telescope arrays and sensor stations. They saw a single human ship moving through the wreckage of the pirate fleet, checking for survivors and scanning for hidden threats. New Haven Colony, this is Captain Morgan. The immediate threat has been eliminated. Resume normal operations and report any further problems to Fleet Command. Colony Administrator Pete Johnson activated his communication array with shaking hands. Captain Morgan, this is New Haven Control. We don't know how to thank you. No thanks necessary. Protecting human coal 3 weeks after the battle at New Haven, General Krath sat in his rebuilt command center, trying to understand how his empire was falling apart. The holographic display showed red marks scattered across 12 star systems. Each mark represented ships that had vanished without a trace. Another patrol failed to report in, said his aide, Thekvor. That's the 5th one this week. 12 ships total. Krath studied the pattern of disappearances. They formed a rough circle around his territory, always hitting isolated groups, never attacking his main bases. What did the last survivors report before they died? The same story every time, sir. A large ship appears from nowhere, destroys everything in minutes, then vanishes. The survivors describe weapons that burn through shields like they aren't there, and speed that makes their ships look motionless. How many survivors? Very few. Usually 1 or 2 ships out of entire squadrons. Krath felt a chill run down his spine. Whoever was hunting his people was leaving witnesses on purpose. They wanted word to spread. They wanted his crews to be afraid. It was working. 2 systems away, Captain Beth Adams stood on the bridge of the UES Retribution, reviewing after-action reports from her latest engagement. The ship around her was nothing like the exploration vessels that aliens had seen in human space. This was a warship, built in secret shipyards that officially did not exist. Beth was 42 years old with gray-streaked black hair and dark, brown eyes. She had commanded destroyers during the Martian Rebellion, where she learned to kill enemies who outnumbered her forces by 10 to 1. The aliens who built empires by conquering primitive worlds had no idea what they were about to face. Tactical assessment, she ordered. Tactical Officer Kyle Green looked up from his console. We've eliminated 47 pirate vessels in the past 3 weeks. Enemy morale appears to be breaking. Several squadrons have abandoned their patrol routes and returned to base. Kyle had transferred from the frontier after the New Haven engagement. His experience with alien weapon systems made him perfect for the Retribution's mission. He understood exactly how to hurt enemy ships without destroying them completely. Any change in their tactics? They're grouping into larger formations, but that just makes them easier targets. Their technology can't adapt fast enough to counter our advantages. Communications specialist Rachel Stone had also transferred from the frontier. Her ability to intercept alien transmissions gave the Retribution a huge advantage in planning attacks. I'm monitoring their command frequencies, she reported. Panic is spreading through their ranks. Some captains are refusing to leave port. What are they saying about us? They call us the demon ship. Some think we're using forbidden technology. Others believe we're not human at all. Beth smiled. Fear was a weapon as powerful as any gun. When enemies started seeing demons instead of human beings, they made mistakes. Mistakes got them killed. Engineer Danny Rodriguez monitored the ship's systems from his station. The Retribution was larger and more powerful than the Frontier, with weapon systems that pushed the boundaries of known physics. Captain, I'm reading some interesting energy patterns from our last engagement. The alien shields are starting to adapt to our weapons. How long before they develop effective countermeasures? At their current rate of progress? maybe 6 months, but that assumes they survive long enough to analyze our technology. Navigator Amy Carter plotted their next course from her station. Her neural interfaces had been upgraded for the larger ship, allowing her to process more data and calculate more complex maneuvers. Next target is a supply convoy moving through the Helix Nebula. Intelligence indicates 24 ships carrying weapons and ammunition. Perfect. When do we intercept? 14 hours at current speed. Beth nodded. The Retribution would arrive at the ambush point with perfect timing, destroy or disable most of the convoy, then vanish before reinforcements could arrive. The surviving ships would carry word back to General Krath that nowhere was safe. On the fortress world of Zerion Prime, General Krath called an emergency meeting of his senior commanders. 12 species were represented around the conference table, each one leading fleets that had terrorized civilian populations for decades. Now, they looked like frightened animals. "Report your losses," Krath ordered. Commander Vexhai of the Crystal Worlds spoke first. Her crystalline form flickered with stress patterns. 60% of my patrol ships have been destroyed or are missing. My crews refuse to operate in squadrons smaller than 20 vessels. The situation is worse for my people, added Captain Gorlak of the Saurian Empire. His reptilian features showed deep worry. We've lost entire battle groups. Whatever is hunting us knows exactly where we will be and when we will be there. Similar reports came from all 12 commanders. The pirate alliance that had controlled 3 sectors was bleeding ships and crews. Trade routes were being abandoned. Raids were being canceled. Some captains had deserted entirely, taking their ships and fleeing to distant systems. "What do our spies in the Galactic Council report?" Krath asked. "Nothing useful," replied his intelligence chief. "The Council still believes humans are primitives with basic technology. They dismiss our reports as fantasy or incompetence. Then we handle this ourselves. I'm authorizing Operation Bloodstorm." The commanders looked at each other nervously. Operation Bloodstorm was Krath's plan for total war against human colonies. It involved 800 ships in coordinated attacks on 12 different worlds. The goal was to kill so many humans that Earth would surrender unconditionally. "Sir," said Commander Vexhai carefully, "perhaps we should reconsider. The enemy has demonstrated capabilities we don't understand." "They have 1 ship," Krath snarled. "1 ship cannot fight 800. We will overwhelm them with pure numbers." What General Krath did not know was that the humans had more than 1 ship. Much more. Deep in the Titan Nebula, the UES Valiant moved silently through clouds of ionized gas. The heavy cruiser was one of 13 warships that officially did not exist. Lieutenant Sam Parker monitored sensor readings from his station, watching for any sign of enemy activity. Sam was 28 years old with red hair and blue eyes. He had joined the Space Service straight out of the Naval Academy, where he studied alien warfare tactics and human military history. His professors had taught him that the key to winning any war was understanding your enemy better than they understood you. "Contact bearing 27 Mark IV, reported sensor operator Janet Mills. She was 25 years old with blonde hair and brown eyes. Her equipment could detect ships at twice the range of standard alien sensors. Multiple vessels estimated 40+. Classification: mixed pirate formation. I'm reading Gorvani heavy cruisers, Rillan destroyers, and at least 6 different escort types." Sam activated his command console. "All stations prepare for combat. Stealth systems online." The Valiant's stealth technology was based on principles that alien science considered impossible. The ship could bend sensor beams around its hull and absorb energy emissions that would normally reveal its position. To enemy sensors, the area where the ship existed appeared to be empty space. "Weapons ready," reported Gunnery Officer Mike Roberts. His console controlled weapon systems that could punch through the strongest alien armor. "Target priority? Command ships first, then anything that looks like it has long-range communications. The battle lasted 8 minutes. 43 pirate vessels were destroyed or disabled before they could send a distress signal. The 3 surviving ships fled into hyperspace, carrying terrified crews who babbled about invisible demons and impossible weapons. Similar engagements were happening throughout the sector. The UES Phoenix ambushed a raiding fleet near the Proxima trade routes. The UES Thunderbolt destroyed a pirate base hidden in the Crab Nebula. The UES Lightning eliminated 2 squadrons that were moving to reinforce General Krath's main fleet. Each engagement followed the same pattern. Human ships appeared without warning, attacked with overwhelming force, and vanished before enemy reinforcements could arrive. The few survivors carried reports of weapons and tactics that defied alien understanding. Dr. Ashley Brooks analyzed the psychological impact from her laboratory aboard the UES Retribution. Ashley was 36 years old, with brown hair and green eyes. Her specialty was xenopsychology, understanding how alien minds worked and what frightened them most. The reports are having the desired effect, she told Captain Adams. Alien crews are beginning to question their commanders and refuse dangerous missions. Some ships are deserting entirely. What about their leadership? General Krath is becoming increasingly desperate. His traditional tactics aren't working, but he lacks the flexibility to develop new ones. I predict he'll attempt one massive attack to try to overwhelm us with numbers. Let him come. Ashley nodded. That's exactly what we want him to do. On Kepler Station, Commander Jake Sullivan watched the Galactic Council session with quiet satisfaction. The alien delegates were finally starting to take the pirate problem seriously, but they still had no idea what was really happening. Admiral Zektar stood at the central podium, his 4 arms gesturing angrily. The situation in the Outer Rim is becoming critical. Entire pirate fleets are being destroyed by unknown forces. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened at midnight, station time. Admiral Zektar paced around the central podium while delegates from 47 worlds watched in growing alarm. The holographic display showed red warning indicators across 3 entire sectors. The situation has escalated beyond our worst predictions, Zektar announced. General Krath has assembled the largest pirate fleet in recorded history. Intelligence reports indicate over 800 ships moving toward human space. Delegate Mortok from the Rillan Republic stood up, his insect-like body clicking nervously. 800 ships? That's not a raid, that's an invasion. Exactly. If this fleet successfully attacks human colonies, it will destabilize the entire Outer Rim. We have no choice but to intervene. Counselor Vexahai from the Crystal Worlds flickered with worry patterns. What military assets do we have available? I can assemble 500 ships within 48 hours. Combined with local defense forces, we should have enough firepower to stop this threat. Commander Jake Sullivan sat in the observer section, taking notes and appearing concerned. Inside, he was calculating how the approaching alien fleet would change human plans. Earth Command had expected the pirates to attack alone. A combined force of 1,300 alien ships would require different tactics. Jake activated his secure communication device and sent a coded message to Earth Command. The message was simple. Council intervention confirmed. Revise operation parameters. 2 sectors away, Captain Lisa Morgan read the intelligence update on her personal screen. The UES Frontier was part of a 13-ship task force moving toward the confrontation zone. What had started as a demonstration against pirates was becoming something much larger. All senior officers to the briefing room, she announced. 5 minutes later, her command team gathered around the holographic display. The tactical situation looked impossible. 13 human ships would face over 1,000 enemy vessels from multiple species, each with different weapons and capabilities. Orders from Fleet Command, Lisa said. We proceed with the original plan. Full demonstration of human military capabilities. Engineer Danny Rodriguez looked at the numbers and shook his head. Captain, with respect, this isn't a demonstration anymore. This is survival. No, Danny. This is exactly what we've been preparing for since first contact with galactic civilization. The moment when pretending to be weak would no longer serve human interests. Navigator Amy Carter's interface ports glowed as she processed fleet movement data. Tactical analysis suggests the alien fleet will attempt a standard battle formation. They'll assume we'll fight according to established galactic warfare doctrine. They assume wrong, said Tactical Officer Kyle Green. Human warfare doctrine was developed fighting the most dangerous opponents in the galaxy, other humans. These aliens have never faced enemies who think like they do. Dr. Ryan Walsh pulled up technical specifications for the approaching alien ships. I've been analyzing their fleet composition. 27 different ship designs from 14 species. Their coordination will be terrible. Communications Specialist Rachel Stone monitored alien transmissions from her station. The pirates and council forces are already arguing about command structure. Admiral Zektar claims overall authority, but General Krath refuses to accept alien leadership. Lisa smiled. Excellent. Let them waste time fighting each other. On the bridge of the UES Retribution, Captain Beth Adams received similar intelligence updates. Her ship was designated as Fleet Command for the engagement, coordinating the actions of all 13 human vessels. Status report, she ordered. All ships report ready for combat, said Tactical Officer Kyle Green. Stealth systems optimal. Weapons charged, engines running at 100%. Enemy fleet composition? Communications specialist Rachel Stone consulted her displays. 837 pirate vessels, 512 council warships. Total enemy strength, 1,349 ships. Our strength? 13 ships. The numbers should have been terrifying. Instead, Beth felt calm confidence. Human military doctrine had been developed during centuries of warfare against opponents who shared human intelligence, creativity, and ruthlessness. Every human officer had studied battles where outnumbered forces achieved victory through superior tactics, better technology, and more flexible thinking. The aliens were about to receive an education in human warfare. Lieutenant Sam Parker monitored the approach from his station aboard the UES Valiant. His ship was part of the advanced scout formation, using stealth systems to observe the enemy fleet without being detected. They're moving in traditional formation, he reported to Captain Adams over the secure channel. Council forces in the center, pirates on the flanks. No screening vessels, no advanced scouts. Confirmed, Valiant. Maintain observation and report. Any changes? Sam switched to tactical analysis mode. The alien fleet was impressive in size, but it moved like a parade formation rather than a military force. The council ships maintained perfect spacing and alignment. The pirate vessels struggled to match their speed and course. Communication traffic between the two groups showed constant arguments about tactics and objectives. Dr. Ashley Brooks studied the psychological profiles from her laboratory aboard the Retribution. The alien commanders were making decisions based on their species' traditional approaches to warfare. The council forces expected formal battles with established rules. The pirates wanted quick raids and easy victories. Neither group was prepared for what humans called total war. Captain, Ashley reported to Beth Adams, analysis indicates severe coordination problems in the enemy fleet. The council forces view this as a police action. The pirates see it as a conquest opportunity. They're operating under different assumptions about objectives and acceptable losses. How do we exploit that? Hit them in ways that violate both sets of assumptions. Make the council. Forces think the pirates are uncontrollable. Make the pirates think the council is using them as cannon fodder. Beth nodded. Human military history was full of examples where enemies destroyed themselves through internal conflict. All it took was the right pressure applied at the right time. On Kepler Station, Admiral Zektar reviewed final preparations for the expedition. His staff worked around the clock to coordinate the largest military operation in galactic history. 500 Council warships from 23 worlds, supported by local defense forces and allied fleets. Fleet status? He asked his aide. All ships report ready for departure. Estimated travel time to the confrontation zone is 36 hours. What about intelligence on the enemy force? Still limited, sir. We know there's at least one large human ship with advanced capabilities, possibly more vessels using stealth technology. Zektar studied the tactical projections. Even if the humans had 10 ships with superior technology, they could not fight 1,300 vessels simultaneously. This would be a demonstration of galactic military power that would end any thoughts of human expansion. Send the departure order. All ships jump to hyperspace in 1 hour. What Admiral Zektar did not know was that human listening posts had intercepted every communication, analyzed every ship movement, and predicted every tactical decision. The alien fleet was walking into a carefully prepared trap. General Krath commanded his forces from the bridge of his flagship, a massive dreadnought that had conquered 12 worlds. Around him, the largest pirate fleet in history prepared for the greatest raid ever attempted. "Final count?" he demanded. 837 ships, sir. Over 2 million crew members. Enough firepower to reduce human colonies to ash. And the Council forces? Admiral Zektar's fleet will arrive 12 hours behind us. His ships are faster, but we launched first. Krath smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. Let the Council arrive after the real work was done. His forces would claim the best territories and richest targets before the alien bureaucrats could interfere. The humans would learn what happened to species that interfered with Gorvani expansion. All ships, prepare for hyperspace jump. Target, human space. Objective, total conquest. The pirate fleet engaged their faster-than-light drives and vanished from normal space. Behind them, Admiral Zektar's Council fleet followed on a parallel course. Neither commander realized they were racing toward the most one-sided battle in galactic history. In the deep space between star systems, 13 human warships waited in perfect silence. Their stealth systems made them invisible to alien sensors. Their weapons were charged and ready. Their crews had trained for this moment since joining the space service. Captain Beth Adams opened a channel to all human vessels. All ships, this is Retribution Actual. Enemy forces are approaching on schedule. Remember, our objective is not just military victory, but psychological impact. We want the survivors to carry word back to their governments that humanity is not what they thought. Responses came back from 12 ship commanders. Each one confirmed readiness for combat. Each one understood that this battle would change humanity's relationship with galactic civilization forever. The age of pretending to be weak was about to end. All ships, Beth announced. Execute Operation Thunder. Show them what humans can do. The 13 ships of the human fleet powered up their main engines and began moving toward the approaching alien forces. They accelerated to speeds that would have amazed aliens. The Battle of Nebula Sector began at 0347 hours, Galactic Standard Time. General Krath's pirate fleet dropped out of hyperspace first, their 837 ships spreading into attack formation like a swarm of deadly insects. 12 hours later, Admiral Zektar's Council fleet arrived with 512 additional vessels. Neither commander expected to find 13 human ships waiting for them. Captain Beth Adams stood on the bridge of the UES Retribution, watching the tactical display as over 1,300 enemy vessels took their positions. The alien fleet filled local space like a metal cloud, their combined mass representing enough firepower to destroy entire star systems. All human vessels report ready, said communications specialist Rachel Stone. Fleet formation Alpha is established. Enemy. Fleet composition? Beth asked. Tactical Officer Kyle Green consulted his displays. Council forces are maintaining standard battle formation. Pirate vessels are spreading into raiding positions. No coordination between the two groups. Perfect. Execute first phase. The UES Retribution and 6 other human ships engaged their stealth systems and vanished from alien sensors. To the enemy fleet, it appeared that the human force had been reduced by half. General Krath and Admiral Zektar both assumed the remaining ships were preparing to surrender. They were wrong. Lieutenant Sam Parker monitored the enemy fleet from his position aboard the UES Valiant. His ship was part of the visible human formation, acting as bait to draw alien attention. Around him, 6 other vessels maintained standard spacing and appeared ready for conventional battle. "Enemy forces are moving to surround us," he reported over the tactical network. "They're following predictable attack patterns." "Confirmed, Valiant," came Beth's voice from the Retribution. "Maintain position and prepare for fireworks." The first shots were fired by the pirate fleet. General Krath ordered a full weapons barrage, expecting to overwhelm the small human formation with pure firepower. 800 ships opened fire simultaneously, filling space with energy beams and projectile streams. The human ships activated their defensive systems and began to move. What followed violated every principle of galactic warfare doctrine. The human vessels accelerated at impossible speeds, changed direction without slowing down, and maneuvered in 3-dimensional patterns that confused alien targeting systems. Their defensive screens absorbed weapon impacts that should have destroyed them completely. "How are they moving like that?" Admiral Zektar demanded from his flagship. "Unknown, sir," his tactical officer replied. "Their acceleration curves exceed theoretical maximums for ships of their size." "Then destroy them with overwhelming force. All Council ships open fire. 500 additional warships joined the attack. Space around the human formation became a storm of deadly energy as over 1,300 alien vessels fired everything they had at 7 human ships. The humans fired back. Engineer Danny Rodriguez had spent 3 years perfecting the weapon systems aboard the UES Retribution. When the ship's main guns fired, they released energy bursts that punched through alien shields like paper. Each shot was precisely targeted to disable rather than destroy, leaving crippled enemy vessels drifting in space. Navigator Amy Carter's enhanced neural interfaces allowed her to calculate maneuvers that seemed impossible to alien observers. The Retribution appeared in 12 different locations within 5 minutes, each time destroying multiple targets before vanishing again. "Phase 2, Beth ordered. "All stealth vessels execute coordinated strike." The 7 hidden human ships appeared throughout the enemy formation simultaneously. Each one targeted a different section of the alien fleet, using weapons that the enemy had never seen before. Pirate vessels exploded in chains of fire. Council warships lost power and drifted helplessly. Command ships found their bridge sections blown away by precise targeting. Dr. Ashley Brooks monitored alien communication channels from her laboratory. The psychological impact was exactly what she had predicted. "Enemy morale is collapsing," she reported. "Their commanders are receiving contradictory reports about human capabilities." "What are they saying?" "The pirates think the humans are using forbidden weapons. The Council forces believe they're facing some kind of advanced alien technology. Neither group wants to accept that they're being defeated by a species they considered primitive." Captain Lisa Morgan commanded the UES Frontier from the center of the enemy formation. Her ship had penetrated deep into alien lines, using stealth technology to avoid detection while gathering intelligence on enemy weaknesses. "Target their command vessels," she ordered Tactical Officer Kyle Green. "We want to disrupt their coordination completely." Kyle's weapon systems locked onto 3 alien flagships simultaneously. The precisely targeted shots disabled their bridge sections without destroying the ships entirely. Within minutes, the enemy fleet lost contact with its senior commanders. General Krath found himself trapped aboard a crippled vessel, watching his empire collapse around him. His mighty pirate fleet was being torn apart by opponents he could not see, predict, or understand. Ships that had terrorized 3 sectors for decades were reduced to burning wreckage in minutes. All vessels, retreat to emergency positions, he ordered over the communication system. The surviving pirate ships tried to withdraw, but human vessels appeared in their path. Every escape route was blocked. Every defensive position was compromised. The aliens who had built their power on intimidating weaker opponents discovered what it felt like to face superior force. Admiral Zektar's council fleet fared no better. His carefully planned formation dissolved into chaos as human ships appeared and disappeared throughout his lines. Traditional galactic warfare doctrine had no answers for enemies who could ignore the established rules of engagement. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we've lost contact with 40% of our fleet. Enemy vessels are using some kind of space-folding technology that allows instantaneous movement." "That's impossible. No species has developed such capabilities." "Tell that to the humans, sir." The battle lasted 43 minutes. When it ended, over half the alien fleet had been destroyed or disabled. The survivors found themselves surrounded by 13 human warships that had appeared from nowhere and demonstrated capabilities that challenged everything the galaxy thought it knew about warfare. Captain Beth Adams opened a communication channel to all surviving alien vessels. Her voice was calm and professional, but carried an authority that made experienced military commanders pay attention. "Attention, alien fleet commanders. This is Captain Adams of the United Earth Space Service. Your forces have been defeated. Any vessel that attempts hostile action will be destroyed immediately. United Earth Space Service?" Admiral Zektar whispered to his aide. "That organization isn't in our databases." General Krath activated his communication system with shaking hands. "Human Captain, what are your terms for surrender?" "No surrender required," Beth replied. "You are free to leave this system and return to your home territories. However, I have a message for your governments." The communication channel remained open as Beth continued. "For 50 years, humanity has been aware of galactic civilization. We have watched, learned, and prepared for the day when our peaceful facade would no longer serve our interests. That day has arrived." Commander Jake Sullivan received the transmission on Kepler Station, where the Emergency Council session had been monitoring the battle through long-range sensors. The alien delegates sat in stunned silence as the truth about human capabilities became clear. "We have been members of an interstellar civilization longer than most of you realize," Beth's voice continued. "Our exploration ships were scouting vessels. Our trade missions were intelligence operations. Our diplomatic corps has been evaluating your strengths and weaknesses for decades." Admiral Zektar felt his 4 hearts beating rapidly as he realized the implications. "They've been spying on us since first contact." "Our greatest strength was never our technology or our tactics," Beth said. "It was our willingness to prepare for wars we hoped never to fight, and our patience in choosing when to reveal our true capabilities." The surviving alien commanders listened in growing horror as the human captain explained their situation. Earth's fleet was larger than anyone had suspected. Human technology was decades ahead of galactic standards. Human military doctrine had been developed fighting enemies who shared their own intelligence and creativity. "We choose peace not from weakness, but from strength," Beth concluded. "Remember that when you report to your governments. Humanity is no longer pretending to be something we are not." The communication ended. Throughout the debris field, surviving alien vessels began limping toward the hyperspace jump points. They carried with them the survivors who would spread word throughout the galaxy that everything had changed. Dr. Ryan Walsh analyzed the battle data from his station aboard the Frontier. The engagement had provided perfect intelligence on alien military capabilities, political structures, and psychological weaknesses. The information would be invaluable for future diplomatic and military planning. "Assessment?" Captain Lisa asked. "Complete success. We demonstrated superior technology, tactics, and coordination. The